You know, outside the context of Disneyland, I don't really get fireworks. Welcome back to the Midday Ghost Show Spooky Summer Hideaway. I'm your host, Matty Hag, and tonight we're going to start off with drink number one. And this drink has nothing really to do with the movie other than the fact that both the movie and this drink were produced in America. And our first drink is the Roy Rogers. Now, what's a Roy Rogers? Well, for you Cherry Coke drinkers out there, before there was Cherry Coke, there was a Roy Rogers. You just take a Coke and you give it sort of a cherry flavor, and there you go. Now here's the thing, I don't know who Roy Rogers is. I don't know really what he did. He must have been fairly famous. Like I know who Shirley Temple is, and her drink, you know, the cherry Sprite, you know, I know who she is. She's still kind of a household name. I know who Arnold Palmer is. I think they just made it really clear on the cans of Arnold Palmer that he was a golfer. But Roy Rogers, I don't know who that is, but I do like the drink named after him and loved it as a kid. And I'm gonna make it today because what's more America than Cherry Coke? For a Roy Rogers, you need some Coke, some maraschino cherries, which these are Luxardo maraschino cherries, courtesy of Diego and Cecily. And you need some grenadine, which we talked about last time. It's literally just, you take some of that pomegranate juice from Palm, you mix it up with some sugar over heat and let it cool, and you got some grenadine. Which, that seems kind of counterintuitive that in order to make Cherry Coke, you need pomegranate. I don't know. Let's give it a little taste, see if it tastes like Cherry Coke, along with these flames that were totally lit beforehand. Yep, it tastes just like I remember getting at Harris Ranch back in the day, getting a Roy Rogers. If you don't know what Harris Ranch is, it's like a restaurant that's a stop on Highway 5. Used to go all the time, and they didn't carry Cherry Coke, but you could get a Roy Rogers. Yep, and it just tastes like a glorified Cherry Coke. I don't know how pomegranate syrup amplifies cherry, but somehow it does. So there you go. If you have the stuff, give it a try and let me know if it tastes like Cherry Coke, because it probably will. And speaking of not knowing who people are, like me with Roy Rogers, the director of tonight's movie, Werewolf of Washington, is this guy, Milton Moses Ginsburg. Now, he only has a few directing credits to his name, and his most famous were his first two. I think he has a total of 5. He's got tonight's movie as well as his first movie, Coming Apart. So with his first movie, Coming Apart, the camera is in one position for the entire film. The whole thing is just one frame and people come switching in and out. It's part of the story because it's supposed to be like a hidden camera in this office or in his apartment or something like that. You know, it's a cool idea for maybe like something a little shorter, but for like a feature-length film, I don't know, a little artsy-fartsy. And then in tonight's movie, you know, we get more than one placement, which is a good thing, but I don't know, maybe you guys will see the same thing, maybe you won't, but I get kind of this like weird 80s, 90s music video vibe, like the way that there's like close-ups on people or the angles in which they do close-ups and like the way that lights are used and shadow, and I don't know. I don't know if it's accidental, I don't know if it was on purpose, but it's not always shot like a typical movie. It's almost like David Lynchian in some points. Kind of, I don't know, that weird music video vibe. Maybe you'll see what I'm talking about shortly after we get started, but definitely keep an eye out and let me know what you think, because it just sort of struck me as kind of strange to say the least. And speaking of shadow, I have to assume that some of the way that this movie looks was not on purpose, because there are points where there is way too much shadow. You really can't see who's talking or see them very well. A lot of the night scenes are really hard to see. It's just kind of blurry. So point is, there's just a bit too much darkness and shadow in general. But anyway, that's enough out of me for now. Let's get started with the movie. The Midday Ghost Show is proud to present Werewolf of Washington.
That it could happen in America. That it could happen now. That it could ever happen to me. Jack Whittier is my name. Maybe you remember my byline. I was the youngest member of the Washington Press Corps, its fastest rising star. One of the best and brightest, as we used to say. Before so much blood passed under those pretty Potomac bridges. I was having an affair with the president's daughter, and I wanted out. Without hurting her feelings, or frankly, my career. So I had my paper reassign me to our bureau in Budapest. Somehow, the president heard I was banished for being too pro-administration. And he offered me a job which I couldn't refuse. Which is where the terrible events that were to destroy my career and my life begin.
Boy, it's silver. I found it in a little shop. I didn't think there were such things left.
What's it for?
You mean you don't know?
Honest to God, Giselle, I'll have you in Washington within 6 weeks. I'll get you a visa. I'll get you a job.
I don't want a job. A job with who? The FBI?
Stop it, Giselle. Now, will you come on?
Fella, what do you think you're doing? You're trying to get somebody killed? You ran me right into the tree. What are you doing? I'm just standing here right in the middle of the road. Will you say something? What's the matter? Can't you speak English? Giselle, will you get back in the car? I gotta make it to the airport. I'm sorry, sir. I lost my temper. But my car won't start and I have to catch a plane. It's very important. Do you know, is there a gas station around or someone that could help me? Hey. It won't start. Hey, mister! I really need help! How do you say help? Jackie! Come on. Jackie! Now, please, the only reason I'm asking you is because my car crashed because of him. Now, could you just give me a little help, please?
Σας παρακαλώ, φύγετε. Αν δεν φύγετε, θα μας δόξουμε και θα φύγουμε εμείς.
I'm dying to hear this one.
If we won't leave, we leave.
They'll leave. We can't leave, God damn it! I told you my car is stuck.
Mark,
It's stuck over there by the
Mark!
Listen, it's because of him. It's all his fault. He ran me off the road. What are you afraid of? You don't have to go anywhere. The country's $1,600 million worth of aid every year. No. What are you looking at? Will you quit looking at yourself? Thank you. That's right, it's good. Well, I wish I was religious. I swear right now. Hey! What's the matter? Hey! I want a second, will ya? There's got to be a house down that road where I can get a phone. Just wait for me here, Giselle. Leave the headlights on, okay? There. Over there?
Yes, over there.
Fine. Is it far? It's long ways?
Yes,
far.
it is far.
How far?
Not too much.
Oh, good, I can walk.
No, not tonight. Come in.
Do you know what time, the departure schedule of the train?
Moon, come in. Not tonight. Come
Thank you
in.
very much. I'm in a hurry. Just
Come in.
What are you afraid of? Giselle? Giselle?
And so it must have been a wolf. We could find no corpse.
Oh, come on. I killed a man, and I killed him with this thing.
You said it was an accident, my boy.
It was an accident. But are you going to just take my word for it? Aren't you going to detain me?
The inspector has offered us his car and the driver.
What's going on here? This country is crawling with bureaucrats. Where are they? Why aren't they here questioning us?
Jack, they are willing to let go us. Let's go.
What are you trying to cover up? Is the White House behind this?
The what house?
The White House.
Take it easy. You don't even know what are you saying.
Espirito.
What'd she say?
She says you are feverish because of the wound.
I'm afraid I must ask you to leave the area at once. I tell you again, no one has been reported missing. No corpse has been found. If you continue to make a nuisance of yourself, I shall have you locked up.
How come you speak English? Huh?
That was your son that I killed, wasn't it?
Ne, παιδί μου ήταν.
Yes, that was her son.
And you don't even care that I killed him.
Δεν τον σκότωσες. Τον λύτρωσες. Ήθελε να πεθάνει, να γλιτώσει.
She says you didn't kill him. You released him. He needed to die. He longed to rest.
Because of the communists? Secret police?
Pedal. The pentagon.
Because of the sign of the pentagram.
Ah, the Pentagon is behind all of this.
The pentagram. The mark of the beast. This.
Oh, that's just a bunch of insanity.
Όταν σε δαγκώσει λυκάνθρωπος, γίνεσαι κι εσύ.
Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself.
Oh, bull. Find out who she's working for.
Δεν σε δάγκωσε ο λυκάνθρωπος.
The wolf bit you, didn't he?
Yes, damn it.
Αυτό να το θυμάσαι, να το φοράς πάντα κοντά στην καρδιά σου. Να θυμάσαι ένα.
Wear this charm over your heart always. And remember, a werewolf can only be killed with a silver bullet or a stick with a silver handle.
Ο Θεός να σε βοηθήσει.
Heaven help you, my son.
Jenny Williams was killed?
Yes. Find something?
Animal tracks.
Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself.
Oh, don't hand me that. You're just wasting your time.
We don't smell our own crotches, we smell each other's crotches, and it's a form of greeting.
You're on camera, mate. Don't do
What?
it. It's okay, because I know this guy. It's Count Dracula.
Hey, don't swear.
Sorry,
we're werewolves.
Not swear.
What are we?
Werewolves, not swear. Take it.
I love when a movie starts out with a very brief monologue. I feel like that was like a staple of 70s horror movies. I mean, notably, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre literally starts with an opening monologue and kind of has like a crawling text screen similar to Star Wars. So I guess that's something that this movie and Star Wars and Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of have in common, except for this one just is missing the rolling text. But you know what? I feel like that could be easily remedied. And speaking of commonalities, I love how much this movie borrows from the original Wolfman movie with Lon Chaney Jr. I mean, down to the fact that the first werewolf looks like a dog rather than like a wolfman monstrosity, and in this case just looks like a black German Shepherd. And I don't think there was any like actual clips of it jumping on anyone or biting anybody. You just see it kind of like walk up to the camera. I don't know. I feel like there must be some things missing there. Not the point. I love the fact that it was just essentially a regular dog, and that was kind of similar to the original Wolfman movie. The fact that the wolf, the first wolf, is killed with the cane with like a wolf's head on it, a silver tip or top on it. I mean, just straight up ripping from the original Wolfman. There's not like a book, you know? There's not like an original story, source material that they're pulling from. They're just borrowing from Universal, and I don't know how that would work with copyright. Can you like copyright the rules for how a monster dies? I mean, I know like titles and things and general how the story goes, but like little points like that, does that like just fly under the radar? Also, real quick before we get back to the movie, I just want to talk real quick about the actress who plays the old woman whose son was the first werewolf, who talks to Jack and sends him on his way and essentially lets him know that he's going to become a werewolf. Her name is DESPO DIAMANTIDOU, which I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing. And, you know, as a Greek man, I should know this because she is a Greek actress. I've never seen a name like that before. Diamantidou? 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 I don't know. Point is, she's this Greek actress who has a long storied career, like tons and tons of movies to her name. And this is like one of the few, if not the only title in America that she was a part of, which kind of blows my mind because I just wonder, like, how did that happen? Also, how did they get her? Was she like in the US and it was just kind of a favor? Did they pay her well enough? Like, what's the deal? I just want to know what's the story here because I don't know, it just seems very out of the blue. The point is that I just want to know, you know? I know it's not really important, but it's useless information that would be useful to me. Anyway, let's get back to the movie.
Jack. The president wants to see you. He's in my bedroom.
Mr. Bond does not represent the people of Maryland.
Hello there, Mr. President.
You know, I was just telling the Attorney General here, that Senator Bond, oh, he makes me so sick. I just can't stand it.
Mrs. Capri, I'm sure your husband doesn't even feel that strongly about it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Jack, you see the kind of problems we have here. Judge, I want you to meet Jack Whittier, the new Assistant Press Secretary.
How do you do?
Mrs. Capri.
Oh, is he the Jewish young man that you hired to muzzle me?
I'm afraid they couldn't find him.
Oh, well, you look smart.
I'm going to excuse myself now.
We sleep tight now, Mr. President.
Oh, Marion.
Hello, Jack.
My, that Marion's such a lovely girl. Did the Washington Times really send you to Siberia? And the truth to her, Mr. Whittier?
It was Hungary.
What?
Hungary?
Come on, Margie. I think it's time we left for home, too.
Oh, no, Elliot, honey. Well, why don't you run along like you always do? I'm sure this nice young man will see me home, won't you, honey?
I think your father's a cross between Abraham Lincoln and Jesus Christ.
I'm engaged to be married, Jack.
Already? To that psychiatrist guy?
Mrs. Capri, any time you're ready.
Oh, I'm standing on the mark of the road.
You know, Anytime you have people marching in the streets, you're just catering to the revolution. You know what my husband says? Well, my husband says many times that he actually prefers some of the Russian communists against the liberal colonists in this country. What's the matter with my hand?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, my goodness, my land, Jack. You're just some terrible fool, aren't you?
Marion and I are leaving. I thought I'd come over and say good evening to you, right? Tremendous salmon. Why don't you come in and talk to me sometime, chap? We'll have a talk. All right, sure.
Now, where were we? Where were we? We were saying something about the
watched the damn thing myself. They didn't even have a station break. And this prejudiced, hostile critic is the commentator they put on right after the president's address about capturing. Well, I have the network's word. They're gonna bury this guy someplace.
What do you mean?
Give him an axe. Drop him.
You're kidding.
No. The president is fed up with this guy's facial expressions and gestures. We've got some friends there. It's the other networks I'm worried about. Here. Take a look at the speech the vice president's going to read tomorrow night. We are going to war against the networks, Jack. We're going to win back the minds and hearts of the American people. And we have got to have Captree on that court to win the fight, or we're in trouble. Hell, you understand. Hey, look, Jack, there's a line in there I have trouble with, something about the views of a small group. How does small strike you? That's a little soft. What would you call your compatriots of the press if you wanted to be, a little more flashy?
Let's see. Well, at their worst, a coterie of impudent snobs. Or, no, I mean, really, I could find some...
Oh, that's great. We'll use it.
You're kidding.
No, it's just what we want. Look, the man told me to give you a draft of the speech and listen to your suggestions on it. Now I know why. I want you to spice it up a bit, huh?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't use that line that I just suggested.
Why not? That is exactly what we want. And not now. Yeah. My God. What's this country coming to? Mrs. Captree was just found dead. guts, rip it open.
I think your father's a cross between Abraham Lincoln and Jesus Christ. No idea what that was supposed to mean, what part of the conversation that would have come out of, but every time I get to that part in the movie, that line just grabs my attention. It's just so strange and absurd and apropos of nothing. Our main character tonight, Jack Whittier, is played by Dean Stockwell. Now, if that name doesn't ring a bell, maybe you've heard of one of his most famous shows, Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula. If that doesn't ring a bell, well, then I don't really know what to tell you. But Dean Stockwell, let's talk about him for a second. So this guy had been acting for a long, long time. He'd started as a child actor back in the 40s, and essentially, other than a few years off here and there, had pretty much had consistent work all through his life. He was a child star, and he was signed on as an actor for MGM when they would do these things like contracts. You have to do work for one specific studio. And I was listening to this interview with him talking about his experience in his career, like as a child, as an adult. Someone that he brought up that I found kind of interesting that, he really enjoyed working with and somewhat counted as a friend was Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, kind of guy that played many a swashbuckling character, also someone who played Robin Hood many times. So back in the day when he was a kid and he'd be in a movie with Errol Flynn, something that he commented on that he really appreciated from him was that Errol Flynn would always speak to him as an equal. He was one of the few adults that, didn't, turn on like I'm talking to a little kid voice. And like I mentioned, he had pretty steady work all throughout the years, but at one point his MGM contract that he had, from early childhood to a certain point had expired. And he took some time off of acting. Something that I thought was interesting that he said was he had a hard time trying to find work elsewhere because he really had no training or education in other fields to speak of. The only thing he really knew how to do was a thing that he kind of didn't want to do anymore, which was acting. He mentioned that he didn't really learn to enjoy acting until his 30s. Like late 30s, he actually started to enjoy it. Everything else was just more doing it as a paycheck, which, I don't know. I mean, the dude's pretty good. I mean, even in this movie, I feel like he kind of sells his whole steez. I mean, even as he gets further and further down the rabbit hole of becoming a werewolf, you just see the madness. He's definitely one of the strongest parts about this movie that definitely has some weird problems. But one of the other strong parts about this movie, I would say, is Biff McGuire, who plays the president. Now, frankly, I don't remember if the president actually gets like a president last name, like if he's just referred to as Mr. President, the president, whatever. But I love this guy because I feel like he's just kind of that turd politician president that just sort of like half listens to everything that people say and just is sort of about his own business, really doesn't know much of what's going on, pretends that he knows what's going on, just kind of a turd, and he's a great turd. But anyway, let's get back to the movie.
Have you been? I guess I asked that last night.
Yeah, I guess you did. Gee, I haven't been in the White House in a long time.
Well, not everyone gets to see all of the White House, Jack.
I'm supposed to meet with your father.
It's really awful about Mrs. Crabtree, isn't it? And those shoes they found, that's weird.
Shoes? But, Giselle, Marion, the president's waiting for me. I better not keep him.
Hasn't Judge Crabtree asked that his nomination be withdrawn because of this horrible tragedy?
Well, I've asked him not to make that request. Frankly, I don't want his name withdrawn. the current permissive trends continue in this country, I'm worried about national anarchy. Andrea, you and I, we don't see eye to eye about most things. Never asked for your support, and I've never received it. But if your paper could change its position, it would swing the nomination for him.
I'll think about it, Mr. President.
Good. I'm sorry to have kept you here so late. Oh, by the way, I've asked the FCC to act as quickly as possible upon that application, no matter what position you take. After all, I do owe you a favor. If you hadn't banished Jack here to Budapest, well, I wouldn't have a new assistant press secretary. Good evening, darling.
Mr. President, we didn't banish Jack. I begged him to stay here, didn't I, Jack? He requested the transfer for personal reasons, and he's welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
Jack?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to go, Mr. President. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll leave with Jack.
No,
Jack,
I mean, I'll stay here with you, Mr. President.
Well, I'll think it over, Mr. President. I may surprise you.
Well, thank you, Andrea.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Jack. Good night. Good night.
Jack! Jack! Jack, I think I could be your friend, Jack. If you could just accept that. I'd like to be. You don't look well, Jack. Jack!
Don't wait for me there, Marion. Wait for me in your room. Go away now!
Jack! Jack!
Says it's a werewolf.
A weird wolf?
A werewolf. Werewolf. Can you imagine what happened if the press gets a hold of that? I think the kid did himself.
He looks like he could sever a jugular.
Well, I don't think the kid did it.
No, maybe he did do it. His obvious hatred of female authority figures, the expression he keeps using, mother, well, it fits the pattern of the crimes. Prominent middle-aged women found near national monuments.
I don't think the kid did it. You're the whiz kid. You keep him from the press.
Hi, how are you? Could you just tell me exactly what you saw?
Look, we just saw this figure running away.
A figure running away. Was it a man or a woman? Or was it light or dark? Or was it light or dark?
It was too dark to tell.
The figure was dark, wasn't it? This figure was dark.
All right, it was dark. It was very dark.
Debbie, just be cool. A black man. No, it was a werewolf, you racist pig.
Just 1 minute,
Don't
boy.
point your finger at me.
Who are you talking to?
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Look, we didn't do anything. Take it easy. Now, could you kids tell me something more detail about this running figure?
It was hairy. It walked funny.
Uh-huh.
The Panthers.
How do you know it's the Panthers?
I know it. Book 'em.
Book 'em? Wait a minute. What for?
Narcotics.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Listen. Where are you kids staying?
The Chevrolet Hilton.
The what?
Big bus on the mall.
I'm just trying to help you now. We're going to assign an FBI agent to keep you under surveillance, or else we're going to have to lock you up.
Oh, wow, man.
Thank you.
You stay with me. Well, sir, do you have any leads? I mean, this is the second murder of a national figure in 2 days. Are you sure you have enough manpower to trap the killer? I mean, your boys seem to be busy with the networks. Let me tell you something. None of this would have happened if you people didn't support the very elements in our society that did this.
Easy, Lon, easy. Don't let them get to you.
How do you know that we support the elements when you don't have one single lead? We do have a suspect, and an indictment is imminent.
Sir, I must insist that you stop talking to these people.
Does imminent mean today, tomorrow, or indefinitely, sir? Imminent means tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock.
I'm sorry, sir.
And won't you bleeding hearts be surprised? He doesn't have one indictment. He's too busy investigating us. You see? See? Jack! Jack!
I understand that the three of you are cooped up on one of these for, how long is that?
It's about 2 weeks altogether.
2 weeks.
Sir, do you mind if I...
No, you go right ahead.
Oh, this one doesn't seem to work.
Huh? Oh, yeah, let me give you a hand. Oh, that's strange.
Well, that's all right, sir. I'll use this one.
No, that isn't the point. That's odd. There's nobody in there. I'll just reach down under and get the latch for you.
Sir, I'll do it just a second.
No. You just go about your business. I'll get the janitor to look into that. You know, it's odd. We get one of you fellas up on the moon, but when it comes to fixing a little latch like that, we're just all thumbs. Okay, there's Remington I want to show you out here. The Blackfoots gave it to me when they made the chief 2 years back. Just hold it there. Don't want to forget this. 2 weeks. That's 3 or 2 weeks you were in that.
2 weeks.
Jack, I can only give you a minute, but I'd like you to stay and see the senator.
Mr. President, I'm not feeling very well. Do you think you might want to find someone to replace me?
Me right now? Well, sure, go ahead. Take a nap, Jack.
No, I mean generally.
Come on, Jack. You're doing a fine job. You're indispensable to me. I need you now more than ever.
It's about those shoes, sir.
Shoes? What shoes? Jack, would you please stop scratching the palms of your hands? It's just not manly.
It's about the murders, sir. I don't believe that the Panthers did them.
Well, there hasn't been a murder since we put a guard on that black boy.
But the moon hasn't risen yet. Put a guard on me.
Damn that mob out there. Now look, Jack. What is the meaning of this? That speech you wrote last night was just great. The networks, they don't know what hit them. And it's all because of you. I want to assign you full time for writing speeches for the vice president.
Mr. President, I think I'm a werewolf.
The senator, Mr. President.
What?
Senator.
Speak up, goddammit, I can't hear you.
Senator, Mr. President.
Oh, send her in.
Threw it up for grabs. It was deflected as he threw it up.
Oh, Jack. We all get disturbed at some time or another over some damn little thing. But I won't hear of you leaving the team until you've had a chat with Commander Sam. All right?
Mr. President, hello.
Oh, Joan. Good to see you. Come in, come in.
I'm a murderer. I killed someone last night. Dr. Salmon, do you believe that a man can change into an animal?
An animal?
Have you ever heard of the mark of the beast?
What?
There's a curse on me. I was bitten by a wolf. Only it wasn't a wolf.
Only it wasn't a wolf.
It was a werewolf. And now when the full moon rises, I change into an animal with only one desire, the desire to kill.
Oh, Jack, really, a werewolf.
Well, what about my blackouts? And my scar? And my finger? And what about those shoes?
I think you're in trouble, Jack, but not the kind of trouble you think you're in.
What about my seeing the sign of a pentagram?
Well, sometimes we see our conflicts in terms of political symbols.
What's politics got to do with this?
Well, what does the Pentagon have to do with it?
The pentagram!
Gentlemen,
the five-pointed star!
To order dinner now.
Talk like a will. Would you come to the bathroom with me?
Later, sir.
Please. Would come with me to the bathroom.
Later.
Later, please.
Yes, please.
Forward. I want to show you something. Here? It's on my chest.
Jack, I want to talk about your symptoms now, but they're not very hard to explain. Now, you feel guilty because you were with both of these women when they were killed.
And you don't think that in itself is strange?
And you have the feeling that you could have done something to stop it, coupled with guilt feelings for having murderous... Well, look at this. Guilt feelings for having murderous wishes towards these women for evil reasons, for both of which you want to be punished.
Will you look at this?
So?
I saw this in the palm of each of my victims.
Jack, I want to help you.
Well, then lock me up.
Come over to the hospital tomorrow and we'll talk about it.
But someone's gonna die tonight!
You two, shut up! Jack, I cannot help you unless you really want me to help you. Now remember what I told you.
Jack Whittier on the line for Cliff Mapes. Cliff? Jack, fine. Little favor. Look, who would I talk to over there to find out if someone from Budapest is a red dart? Maybe Chinese. G-I-S-E-L-L-E. Frenick, F-R-E-N-N-I-K. French-Romanian, about 30. Correspondent for the Budapest House Organ. Jack Whittier. Hi, Angel. Dr. Salmon? Yes, I did. Now he has me thinking that whatever was bothering me was all in my mind. No, that's just between me and my analyst. Beginning to think that while I was in Budapest, I was brainwashed or something. Yeah, to cover up some political activities here. Assassinations. No. What? I just hope your Secret Service man never publishes a book. No, maybe you better not. Oh, God. Please. Let me go through this.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy so. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Quiet!
I'm me, Fruit Brute, with my fruit-flavored cereal, Fruit Brute, part of your nutritious breakfast.
Fool on you!
But delicious Fruit Brute has fruit-flavored marshmallows for the howling good taste of fruit.
Count Chocula's got chocolate marshmallows.
Frankenberry's got strawberry-flavored marshmallows.
Fruit Brute, with a howling good taste of fruit.
Theorizing that one could time travel within his own lifetime, Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap Accelerator and vanished.
Take a leap into adventure with your favorite seasons of Quantum Leap.
Yes.
TV's extraordinary time travel series on DVD.
I wish you would stop doing that.
Enjoy every episode of this electrifying, innovative program.
I could use a little help here. I can't help. I'm a hologram.
Nominated for 31 Emmys.
Oh, wow.
It bends the rules of time and space to bring you one of TV's most unpredictable shows.
Bingo.
Starring Golden Globe winner Scott Bakula.
Oh, boy.
And Golden Globe winner Dean Stockwell.
I've seen things that would curl your hair.
Quantum Leap. Rediscover one of the greatest and most critically acclaimed sci-fi shows of all time. Seasons 1 through 4 are now yours to...
This is something you just don't see every day, but you can see it every night. When you shop from home on Home Shopping Spree for brand name merchandise without brand name prices. Why, it's enough to make you feel human again.
The place to live in Washington, Watergate, near everything important with everything you need. For relaxing, pools, fountains, flowers, greenery, and a memorable restaurant. For convenience, all sorts of stores and elevator right away. And for your guests, the Watergate Hotel. And now, Watergate South is underway, the final cooperative apartment building at Watergate.
All right, we're gonna get moving on to our cocktail for the night, which, much like the Roy Rogers, has little to do with this movie other than the fact that it was made in the U.S. of A, and I'm talking about the Mai Tai. Actually, before we get into it, kind of funny story. One of the first times I tried making this for my family earlier this year, I got it horribly wrong. I had the wrong rum, the wrong amount of things. Like, technically, most of what went in was correct, but the amount of it was wrong. And it was just this really hot mess. I mean, it wasn't actually hot, but it was just gross. And Cecily and Diego, I'm so sorry that you choked down that first one. You need a couple of things to make a Mai Tai. Some lime juice, some orgeat, which is like a fancy almond syrup. This one comes from a company called Small Hands. You can try to make it yourself, but it's kind of a long, drawn-out process that can be a little bit chunky if not done properly. But it's not, you wouldn't want to get like the Torini almond syrup because that's also not correct. This one has like, it's an almond syrup, but it also has like orange blossom water in it, so it kind of has, I don't know, a little bit more complexity to it. So definitely look for Small Hands orgeat. You need some Mai Tai simple syrup, which you can't buy this. This one is the Smuggler's Cove recipe, which has like Demerara sugar, which is like a type of brown sugar, a little bit of salt, a little bit of regular sugar, and water. It's a bit complicated. You can find the recipe online, but regular old simple syrup works just fine too. Some dry curacao, which this is Pierre Ferrand, and apparently there's kind of a shortage right now. You can't really find it until like later this month. And you need some rum, which this is Denizen Merchant Reserve 8-year aged rum, and it was partially kind of put together and worked on by Martin Cate, who is the guy who opened up Smuggler's Cove in SF. What you're looking for is your tin to be nice and frosty. Now the thing is, you want to take the lime that you squeeze, the spent lime shell as it's called. You want to drop it into your drink as part of the garnish. Make sure that it's floating like that. Then you take some mint, take a few good sprigs, a little slappy, and you want to try to put them sort of behind your lime, because the idea is that it's supposed to that's a lot of mint, but you know what? I like a lot of mint. It's supposed to kind of look like an island with the trees. And there you go. That's the Mai Tai. All right, let's give it a little taste. Now I know you're supposed to have a straw, but I don't have the little teeny tiny straws. The only straws I have go like way off the glass, and the whole point is that you're supposed to kind of get the mint in your nose as you're drinking. So let's do this. Dang. It is vacation. Apparently, this movie was shot right in the middle of the investigation of the Watergate scandal. The scandal itself began in like the middle of 1972, and I believe was like wrapped up by 74, something like that. But this movie came out in 73, so it was produced right in the middle of all of that. And you know, they go to Watergate, you get the shots of like entering that hotel specifically. I don't know, a little on the nose, but I think it's kind of neat, kind of a cool encapsulation of that time and the feeling in this weird monster movie. Anyway, that's enough gab out of me. Let's get back to Werewolf of Washington.
Oh, no, man, without you. You know, we want to make it. You know what I mean, don't you? Make it. Do it.
Capital steps. No, man, we really want to take a walk. Could you stay behind, you know, like 100 paces?
No, seriously, I want to make a phone call, Mr.
Murphy. Randy Murphy.
I'm going to go for a salad, okay?
Yeah, man.
Information? Yeah. Randy Murphy. He's somewhere in Georgetown, I think. Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Hello, Mrs. Murphy. This is the Werewolf of Washington. I know just what you want.
Are the ends of it?
No, No. I left a message. He'll be back later. And I said that we called.
Yeah, well, you ready to go? Look, come on, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I answer your questions, I would like to make a brief announcement. I have called this conference because of the mass hysteria and now tragedy surrounding a case that we're all very much aware of. Today, I'm pleased to announce the indictment of, secondly, the anarchist must be punished. And thirdly,
I think he's missing a
we must have Captree on the Supreme Court. If he so threatens the people, they will stop at nothing. Yeah. Questions?
Mr. President.
Yes.
Sir, is it true that the same black man you're holding for murder was himself brutally attacked last night?
No, I didn't point at you. I was pointing at her. Her.
Oh,
Mr. President, the Vice President made a speech last night. I was wondering if you would comment
Yes,
on that.
I'm glad you asked that question. I would like to make one thing perfectly clear. The Vice President does not clear his speeches with me.
Is the conference over?
No. I just had to leave.
You know, I tried calling you last night after you hung up. Where were you?
Did you? Where was I? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that black kid died.
I don't care what it is you're going through, son. Commander Salmon assures me that your problems will not interfere with your job, and that's good enough for me.
But I don't think Dr. Salmon...
Oh, wait, Jack, wait. Look at that. Jack.
Sir.
I don't care what this gypsy lady told you. Commander Salmon tells me
that in your case, or let's say that in this case, the existence of a werewolf has not been verified. So how could you be a werewolf? Hmm?
Well, sir...
Where's the ball? Where's the damn ball? Either take off your shoes or get in the gutter. I'm gonna let you in a little secret. Whether you know this or not, but I get frightened too. I like you, Jack. I really do. You're like the son I never had. I see a lot of myself in you. They do. You're going places, Jack, and I like to be part of it. There it is. Coming up, Mr.
President, tonight, when the moon is full...
Oh, Jack, tonight when the moon is full. Get out of yourself, boy. You're just going through a crisis. I know about crisis. You're running this one, you're running the rest of your life. Jack, where'd you go to school?
University of Chicago, sir.
Did you play any ball there?
Oh, just four-wall handball, sir. They didn't have varsity sports.
Oh, that's right. There's nothing wrong with four-wall handball. Oh, here, listen, I want you to take a ball. I want you to bowl a few frames with me. Go on, take a ball and get over in the alley over there. Just pick it up and step over there. That's it. All right, Jack, I want you to watch this. You watching me, Jack?
Yes.
Watch. There you go. Look at that shot. All right, Jack, you take a shot. Go ahead. Go ahead. Your turn. Go ahead. Take a shot. According to vote in the Senate, let me have the man I want in the Supreme Court. Do you think I don't care about that? Hmm? Do you? Take a position for a second. Go on, get up the line there. That's it. Now, I can assure you that after the proper amount of time for testing and soul-searching, I'll strike out at my enemy swiftly and boldly. Maybe even tonight. Hey, boy. Jack, throw the ball. Throw the ball. No, not like that. Here. Look, get down. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. That's it. That's it. Now rip the ball back and when you get back, just let it sit down there. Right? That's it. Get the ball back there. All right. Get your knees down there. Now, when you get the ball back there, just let it whisk. Let it go. Okay. You think I run from the battle? I circumvent. Jack, will you throw the ball? Throw the ball down there.
Yes.
If I were to shoot now, I'd be aiming on a sheer recklessness. I'd miss the target completely. Oh, son, there only a few of us left in the boat now. We've got to stick together and strengthen one another. I believe in you, Jack. I want you to believe in me. I promise to stand by you in this crisis, Jack, if you promise me that you'll stand by yourself. Jack, you throw the ball for Christ's sake.
I can't, sir.
Oh, sure you can, Jack. Just throw it.
No, I can't. I've been trying to tell you.
Jack, what kind of a man are you, anyway?
I've been trying to tell you, sir. The first thing happens, my fingers start to swell before the moon rises. And now my fingers are stuck in a ball. I can't get it off.
Oh, Jack, I have a meeting in the war room. Please.
I can't go.
Jack, look, Commander Salmon will be there. Everything will be fine.
I'm stuck in a ball.
Make him drop that ball.
It's a ball. Hey, get out of here.
Nothing wrong with that ball. Nothing at all.
So these pilots load up their planes with bombs, fly them anywhere they want, drop them anywhere they want, without any authorization. They're so damn incorrigible. And then it drops in our lap. And we don't even hear about it until we read it in the paper. Well, I'm fed up with being a nice guy.
The entire country is talking about sex murders and wash and weird wolf. This is just what the papers have been waiting for. Did you see this article in this morning's Times? Articles like that are appearing in every newspaper in every city in the country.
Oh, I think we ought to crucify him.
The networks, they can't even control their own people anymore.
Ooh.
That circus of hippies outside the White House is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, now, wait a minute. I understand.
Congress is threatening you with impeachment proceedings.
You're confusing the issue entirely.
I am afraid of complete civil disorder. My recommendation is that we declare martial law, put a curfew on the whole city, and bring the Army in on this.
The Army? I think we should hold off on that. Gentlemen, I'd like to come directly to the point. I would like to be able to announce the withdrawal of all troops totally and immediately in Southeast Asia. But frankly, I'm afraid of the reaction from the lunatic right. General DeRocha, or excuse me, Admiral DeRocha, you are a politically astute tactician, well aware of the tensions on the home front. What can I do to keep down casualties here and abroad while I speed up troop withdrawals?
Sir, if we can make just one last quick thrust into his sanctuaries, covered by a reactive, protracted reconnaissance, an active, radiative reconnaissance.
What did I miss?
Try to stay awake over there, Harry.
Yes, sir.
A protective, reactive reconnaissance. An active...
Okay, let's do it.
Sir, don't you think we should notify Congress?
Notify Congress? What do you think, sir? Yeah? No, goddammit, let's just ignore them. Gentlemen, our credibility is at stake throughout the world. No, I will not be found wanting in this nuclear age. Just one more thing, gentlemen. About our plan to recognize Red China.
Oh, Mr. President!
He's a great kidder, isn't he? Jack, what the hell time is it? Jack! I guess what, Jack? Jack! Gentlemen, will you please excuse the boy? He hasn't been feeling too well recently.
What does... Wait! Wait! What is your name? What? What is your name? You have a name! What is your name? Tell me your name. What is your name? Are you real? Are you really real?
And we have a random, unexplained cameo of the Frankenstein monster in the lab of Dr. Kiss, played by Michael Dunn. He's a guy who's most well known for the parts he played in both the original Wild Wild West series and the original Star Trek series. Also, if I had to boil down what this movie is about, aside from commentary on the American government, I think kind of on a deeper level, I think it's a movie about communication. Like, nobody really listens to each other in this movie. Everyone's just sort of saying whatever nonsensical thing they want to say. Like, no one's really listening to Jack seriously. And even in the war room, like, there's all those different conversations going on and none of them make sense and nobody's really listening to each other. They just sort of make decisions about situations that still don't make a whole lot of sense. And, you know, even later on, there's more stuff where people are just not listening to each other. Anyway, getting off of that subject, I love the bowling scene. It's so unnecessary. It really does nothing to progress the plot. But that whole bit when, you know, they're trying to go and get the ball and then they run up the gutter and it's just awkward and then he gets his finger stuck and he's trying to explain, oh, this is what happens when I change. And, you know, they have to like try to yank it off of his hand. I love it. It's just like, it's very cartoony and dumb, but so great. Anyway, let's get back to it.
No, I want them. With powder. And tonight. All right, $500. I don't care. No, they don't have to be ballistically perfect. Well, can you make one by tonight? All right, then send me one.
Bullets won't stop it. Maybe we can get it with a tank or a flamethrower.
I don't want him destroyed under any circumstances. Don't you realize how important it is to our programs? You must issue the order that he be taken alive.
It's damn interesting, Dr. Kiss, about the programs. Just what the hell are our scientific programs?
I haven't any more time for this. I have my own work to attend to.
No, he's pretty much alarmed. Word leaks out that there's a werewolf running around and we can't kill it.
Well, just don't let it. Only you and I have seen this. Just keep all the people off the streets tonight, and we'll handle it.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm up to my neck in this Asian policy stuff, and then two students out in Ohio.
I respectfully submit, sir, that is your problem.
Oh, Dr. Kiss? Dr. Kiss? Dr. Kiss, what do you think of my Southeast Asian policy? Dr. Kiss? Oh.
Okay. Mrs. Captree, the publisher, the black kid, the guard in the Pentagon last night, and this is the same shape as the scar on my shoulder, with just one night to fill in the shape of the five-pointed star. Another murder tonight. At Watergate, my apartment.
And there's no doubt about it, the shoes we found at the Pentagon are his.
And the shirt.
And the shirt.
If I could just catch a plane tomorrow, I'll have a full month to find that old gypsy woman before the full moon rises again. And Doctor, I know you can find a way to tell the president so that there won't be a search for me tonight or an investigation. But you have to lock me up tonight.
All right. I'm convinced. We'll lock you up. We can't let the press know about this. We can't let anybody know about it.
Yeah. There's no doubt the press would seize on your personal tragedy to discredit the president.
Well, frankly, I don't even want him to know. He's got enough on his mind already.
Jack, I'm sorry about this.
Could you tell?
Marion? All right, I'll tell her.
I didn't think I might be able to get some rest tonight, knowing I'm chained up. Let's go. What's that?
It's a time-lapse camera, Jack. Presumably it'll go on during the transformation. If you are what you say you are, we owe it to science to make a record of it. Oh, and the president wants a copy for his new library.
Oh, Captain Salmon, would you turn on the television for me? I'd like to watch the president's address tonight.
Still angry over the...
I have to leave soon, Jack, but I'll be back after the address is over.
Oh, I can't believe I have to go through another night of this agony. Captain Salmon, you see that cane? The cane right by the television set? Pick it up. Pick it up.
Then don't hit me with it.
Hit me with it. On the head. Kill me. I'm just a violent beast, and I'm better off dead. I'm better off dead.
Jack!
I'm better off dead. Kill me, will you?
Pull yourself together, Jack. Now, there's nothing to whimper about. I guess this station will do. He's going to be on all the stations. All right, Jack. I'll be back after the address.
it to you, Jack?
No one did anything to me, Marion. Will you get out of here?
Are you insane? Who did this to you?
Marion, will you leave my chains alone?
Did you do this to yourself?
Oh, just leave them alone, Marion. God damn it! Will you get out of here? Out! Out!
Will you please stop barking at me? Now, please stop that nonsense.
It's not nonsense, Marion. Please, will you leave before anything happens to you?
No, I'm not going to leave. Of course not. In fact, I'm spending the night here.
What?
So that you can see this is all in your mind.
Oh, Marion, get the hell out of here!
Don't worry, I'll leave your chains on. What's that?
Marion, just next to the TV, there's a gun there. You see it? All right, it's loaded. Now, if anything happens to me, if I change, that's the only thing that can keep me from killing someone else.
Oh, Jack, stop it!
Marion, if you insist on staying here, you can at least do that for me. Keep it with you at all times. Now, you can do that for me, can't you, Marion? You can at least do that.
Jack, I know I gave you a few days off, but it's just that the press secretary is ill, and I need you there. I guess it's my most important address ever. I'm announcing an arms limitation agreement with the Chinese foreign minister, and I just don't want the public to think that it's a cover for the curfew I'm imposing upon Washington tonight. I just don't want to sound like a little boy who cried wolf. You know what I mean, Jack? What? Jack, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to insist. Yeah. Well, I've already sent a chopper over there to pick you up. Chopper. Helicopter. You know.
What are these?
Coca-Cola flavors, ma'am.
Are you saying it's possible for a Coke to be part cherry and part vanilla?
Yes.
At the same time.
I know. Coke flavors are almost too delicious to be true.
Before we wrap up tonight's movie, we're going to take a quick moment to do a very brief
Spooky Maker Appreciator.
And tonight we're appreciating the fine folks over at Ghoulsville for making the Zombie Displayhand. I came across this thing a while back on Instagram. It's a display hand, as its name implies. I use it to watch stuff on my phone when I'm working in the kitchen or I'm at my desk and I'm just working on something on my computer that takes up the whole screen. But you can use it for like jewelry and business cards and things like that. Super cool, lots of detail. If you don't like purple, it also comes in red or green, and I'll provide links for where you can find that below. But for now, to the folks of Ghoulsville, I appreciate you. Keep doing the spooky things that you do. And to everybody else, real quick, there was a brief shot of Jack in his apartment, or in an apartment where there's a lot of plants. Talk about staying relevant, because I feel like everybody wants to have a lot of plants in their house now. So, I don't know, dude, maybe the 70s or whoever, the first to have just lots of greenery in their homes. Anyway, let's wrap up Werewolf of Washington.
Mr. President, isn't that your helicopter over there?
They're all my helicopters, Jack.
Oh.
Hi, Charlie. a special occasion, Mr. Prime Minister. It's the first time we've ever interrupted our nation's television broadcasting for an unannounced press conference. Isn't that right, Jack?
I understand it comes at a very good time. Is it true that everybody in Washington is afraid of a werewolf?
Werewolf? No, I haven't heard that story.
Oh, is that so? I read a report of it in one of the Hanoi papers. It sounded like a case of mass hysteria.
Well, it sounds like an amusing report, Mr. President. Jack, would you look into that? Jack? Oh, werewolf. Jack? I haven't read any of those Hanoi papers. Werewolf. Now, Mr. Former Prime Minister, sir, we will introduce you to the nation, and then I will come on next with an...
Hey, 这是什么？开玩笑这个？啊？赶他出去啊？
Mr. Prime Minister, no, we are going to introduce you first to the nation. Let's see how...
我一点不懂你讲什么话，这是。
Let's see, how do you say that in the Chinese? Wa Shen Cheer Sound. You'll be the grabber. You'll get the people, and then that'll raise a certain amount of speculation, Mr. Prime Minister, and then I'll come on, and that'll give the people what they've been waiting for. Do you understand? I come on, Mr. Prime Minister, you're not listening. Mr. Prime Minister. Wa Shen Cheer Chowny. You understand, Mr. Prime Minister?
I don't understand at all.
Then I come on, and then I'll announce...
I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about this. Hey, this is not the thing I want. I don't want him here.
What? Just leave Jack out of this now. Will you just talk to me for a moment? What I'm talking about, Mr. Prime Minister...
Let's talk about this first. I don't want to see him here.
Mr. Prime Minister, would you please pay attention here just a moment? Now, Jack, will you pay attention too? God damn it!
赶他出去啊! Is this a joke? Or is it war?
Oh, no.
这不能这样讲玩笑的事情。
It's no joke, Mr. Prime Minister. It's no war, of course.
出去啊！赶他出去啊！
Jack, please just help me out here a little bit, will you? Washen sheer sounding. Cheer sound. Sony, you know. Sony. Washen sheer Sony.
我懂得 understand what you said,
Jack.
But I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'll get it straight. Jack, would you just pay a little attention over here, Jack?
No, Jack! This is hijack! Hijack!
Hijack! No, there's no hijack, Mr. Prime Minister. No, the hijack. Washen Shir Shawnee. You'll go before the nation.
No more 介绍 I go! 你不要胡说八道，你不要乱来开玩笑啊！我不要他在这儿，我要去 I go!
No, don't get off here. No, don't get off here. We have to land, sir. Land. Jack, how do you say land? Jack, will you please try to pay some attention over here? Mr. Prime Minister, after we announce you... Jack, you're right. It is you. Jack. Now, boy. Down, Jack. No, don't shoot. Don't harm him at all. Jack, down, Jack. Jack, this is your president talking to you. Now, sit, boy. Sit. Heel, Jack. Heel. Sally, no. Sally, get this plane out of this time. Sally, get this goddamn thing out of
but he's still a human being.
Of course, Jack, what are you?
My God. Marion.
I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. What's that? Just Sonny. Sonny. I said, just Sonny.
Jack? Jack, is that you?
Was Whittier.
Oh, Jack!
Al.
Jack, I didn't know!
Get Marion out of here.
Jack!
I don't want the press to know she's here.
Jack! 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 Jack!
Now, if this gets out... What gets out, General? He's changed back. Who's to say any of us saw what we saw? An autopsy. We'll have an autopsy? No. My mind, it's playing tricks on me. Listen, we'll give him a hero's burial. He He came between a sniper's bullet and the president's daughter. We trace this gun, find out who the owner is. No, bury it with last year's nerve gas.
The president's going to be all right. He just has a little bite on the neck.
Thank God. Hal! Tell Marion her father's going to be all. Never mind. Well, you guys won't have Jack Whittier to kick around anymore.
My fellow Americans, this is your president speaking to you from the White House. First, I want to thank you for your letters and telegrams offering me your best wishes during my recent illness. Secondly, I know I can count on your support as I lash out against the enemies of America, both in the press as well as the Senate, Republicans as well as Democrats, white as well as black, who have circulated the vicious rumors holding members of my administration responsible for the recent and tragic deaths of just a few of my political opponents. At night, I roam the silent, empty corridors of this great house, wrestling with my conscience, and I've come to this conclusion. If I'm to prevent our enemies from destroying not me, but the very office of the presidency, I must have your support. And so
And that was Werewolf of Washington. And with that, we've wrapped up week 3 of the Spooky Summer Hideaway, and we've only got one more week left. One more spooky movie. I can hardly believe it. And you know what? We're going to wrap it up with something good. Cosmos War of the Planets. It's this Italian space epic that came out the same year as Star Wars, and is definitely trying to do like a movie-length episode of Star Trek. Like, there's a number of things in there, like little plot points that would have made like a few different episodes, and they stretched it out and made one movie that, you know, sort of makes sense. Anyway, I hope you'll join us next week as we wrap up the Spooky Summer Hideaway. Same time, same place. But until then, stay spooky, everybody.